You chose your perfume, or at least that's what you think. The truth is more complicated and more fascinating because the fragrance you reach for every morning, the one that feels like you, the one that feels wrong on anyone else, wasn't chosen randomly. It was chosen by your personality, your emotions, your biology, and possibly your immune system. And the science behind that choice says more about you than you might be comfortable knowing. For decades, psychologists assumed that perfume preference was purely aesthetic, a matter of taste, of fashion, of what smelled nice. But research has consistently pointed in a different direction. Studies in psychology and consumer behavior found a strong and repeatable link between personality traits and fragrance families. Extroverts, people who are energized by social interaction, who lean toward boldness and stimulation, consistently gravitate toward fragrances that announce themselves. Spicy orientals, sharp citrus, loud, confident odes, scents that enter a room before the person does. Introverts tend towards something different, quieter, more intimate, soft musks, warm sandalwood, subtle lavender, scents that stay close to the skin, that reward closeness rather than broadcasting distance. This isn't coincidence. It reflects something fundamental about how each personality type wants to occupy space in the world. The extrovert's fragrance says, I am here. The introvert's fragrance says, come closer if you want to know. And it goes further than introversion and extroversion. People drawn to floral fragrances, rose, jasmine, peony, consistently score higher on measures of openness, romanticism, and emotional sensitivity. They tend to be nurturing, optimistic, drawn to connection and feeling. People drawn to woody and earthy fragrances, vetiver, cedar, leather, patchouli, tend to be more grounded, independent, and comfortable with complexity. They're often the ones who take longer to choose a fragrance and never change it once they do. Fresh and aquatic scents, green notes, ozonic air, cold water, attract people who value clarity, freedom, and simplicity. They tend to be adaptable, easygoing, and resistant to anything that feels heavy or forced. And gourmand fragrances, the ones that smell of vanilla, caramel, warm spice, attract people who lean into pleasure, warmth, and generosity. People who make others feel comfortable simply by being present. But here's where the psychology gets genuinely strange. You don't just choose a fragrance based on how it smells in the bottle. You choose it based on how it smells on you, and those two things are completely different. Fragrance interacts with your skin chemistry, your natural oils, your pH, your body temperature. The same perfume on two different people can smell like two entirely different fragrances. This is why you've probably loved a perfume on someone else and found it flat or wrong on yourself. And why a fragrance you dismissed in a store came alive the moment it met your skin. You're not just choosing a scent. You're choosing what that scent becomes when it merges with who you are. And perfumers have known this for centuries. The most celebrated fragrances in history weren't designed to smell one way. They were designed to reveal something different in every person who wears them. A great perfume is not a fixed thing. It's a conversation between the formula and the person wearing it. Now here's the part that most people have never heard of. Inside your body is a set of genes called the major histocompatibility complex, or MHC. These genes are a central part of your immune system. They help your body recognize what belongs to it and what doesn't. They are unique to you, as individual as a fingerprint. And research has found something extraordinary. Your MHC genes influence your body odor, and they also influence which fragrances you're drawn to. The theory is that when you smell a perfume and something clicks, when a fragrance feels immediately, inexplicably right, part of what you're responding to is how well it harmonizes with your own biological scent signature. You are unconsciously choosing a fragrance that complements your immune profile. There's even evidence that the fragrances people find most attractive on a potential partner correlate with genetic compatibility. That scent preference is part of how humans have always navigated the question of who to get close to. The perfume counter, in other words, is older than we think. For thousands of years before language had words for it, scent was the primary way humans communicated who they were compatible with, and who they were not. So what does this all mean for the bottle sitting on your shelf right now? It means your choice wasn't random. It reflects how you want to occupy space, whether you want to announce yourself or be discovered, whether you reach for warmth or clarity, whether you want to comfort or intrigue. It reflects your emotional state, not just who you are today, but who you are trying to become. Many people find that their fragrance changes during major shifts in their lives. A breakup, a new city, a change in how they see themselves. The perfume that felt right for years suddenly doesn't anymore. And a new one you would have walked past before, suddenly feels like home. That shift isn't about fashion. It's, it's about identity. Your fragrance is not just something you wear. It's an ongoing answer to a question you didn't know you were asking. The next time you reach for your perfume, notice what draws you to it, not the notes on the label, not what it was called in the store, the feeling it gives you, the version of yourself it seems to call forward, the invisible space it creates around you before you've said a single word. That's not just a scent. That's you making yourself known to the world. Scent is one of the oldest languages we have. If you want to understand more of what it says about you, about others, about the invisible forces shaping how we feel and who we become, subscribe to Invisible Scents, a new story every week.